won't have the phone falling down, and we won't have all this other crazy stuff happening, hopefully. I'm just imagining right now that I've said all that, and then the phone's going to go on the floor. Lovely jubbly. That's what I expect to happen. That's just how things are, people, innit? Anyway, welcome to this broadcast. I know that a lot of people always end up pre-watching this broadcast, so I'm not going to dilly-dally around and wait for people to come in. I'm just going to head straight into the video. If anyone wants to hop in halfway through the video, you will always probably see me looking around to see if there's any people in the live stream, and I will always try and reply to any comments that come through. So if you hear me reacting to someone's comment, I'll always try and read it out, so then anyone who's pre-watching it can listen back over to the comment that's been said and what I said to it. Hokey cokey then. So welcome again, saying this again, welcome to this broadcast. I hope everyone's having a great day wherever you are in the world. And if you haven't subscribed already to this channel, please do so. And also give a little subscription to Chain Productions channel as well, because that's the main channel where everything's going to be happening. So people, today's live stream is motorcycle stories. And what I mean by motorcycle stories is I'm going to be talking about some of the crazy stuff and crazy rides that have happened when I've been out and about and riding, and just some crazy events that have happened. I just want to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's head into this. So story number one. Well, this story, I think it was towards autumn time of 2020. Now, I used to ride round in this tasselled jacket, like a proper nice tassel-y jacket, beautiful jacket. I think I picked it up from a charity shop. It was a great find. It was like £10. Best place to go is charity shops. You can find all sorts of stuff there. Anyway, I picked up this tassel jacket and I rode it. I wore it and wore it on my bike and rode everywhere with this tassel jacket on. Anywhere and everywhere I would go with this jacket on. And one thing I used to do is I used to look out the window, look up at the weather and go, oh, okay, it's looking pretty overcast. It's not going to rain. It's fine, And other days it would be peeing down with rain and I'm like, oh, okay, I won't wear it today because, got no other choice really, have you? When I'm going to work and stuff like that, you can't really get the jacket too wet because it might ruin the leather. And then, obviously, when it was sunny, straight jacket on. The jacket went straight on. Oh god, the jacket went straight on, and I would head straight out on the bike and go and hit the road when I was going to work or out and about. Anyway, on this particular day, I was going to work, and got to work. Everything was all sound. Everything was all kosher. Beautiful day. So I was like, okay, cool. And then, lo and behold, it started raining and raining and raining. I'm looking out the window going, it'll stop in a minute, it'll stop in a minute. And it was getting dark quite early. I think it was 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It was starting to get really pitch black. And I was finished work at 5 o'clock. And I stood in this alleyway and I thought I'd light myself a cigarette. And I'm stood in this alleyway outside my work. There's a bit of overhead cover as well, because it's like an archway that you sit in. I'm sat there having a cigarette and I'm looking out, pitch black. You can see the rain and the security lights and just the lighting around the yard where I work. And I'm having this cigarette thinking, it's going to stop in a minute. That's just how far my optimism goes. I'm like, it's going to stop in a minute. Everything's going to be sound. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine, people. And I finished my cigarette. I stumped it out. I look back up. It's still going. And I'm like, fuck. The only other thing as well, but what makes this story so bad is that, well, what makes this whole situation bad, I should say, is that I had an open face helmet too. So I didn't have the full face motorcycle helmet. I had an open face with just these little spindly goggles. And I was like, oh, I've got no other choice. I was actually contemplating staying at work and just waiting, staying there till the morning, sleeping in the office, staying there till the morning and then waiting for the rain to pass to then go home. But I thought, sod that, I want food, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I want to go home. So anyway, I had my phone on me as well, and I thought it'll be fine inside this tassel jacket. So I put my phone inside my tassel jacket, zipped it up, lovely jubbly, got all my gear on, and I was like, right, let's go. So I hit the road, right? Within, 300 meters down the road, my goggles started fogging up. Couldn't see a fucking thing, right? So every 5 minutes, I'm riding along and I'm wipe underneath the goggle, wipe there, and then, so wipe the left side goggle, wipe the left lens, and wipe the right lens and carry on and do another quick wipe and all the rest of it. Anyway, got to a junction at the end of the road and I'm like, fuck, I can't go on like this. I thought, sod it, you know, you got to do it. So I'm riding. And going up the road, going onto the main road, the only way I knew at that one particular time to work. Go there, roadworks. Pistonel Ray roadworks. I'm like, oh my god, like, where am I going to go? Like, where's the diversion? So I just had to, like, freestyle it. I was like, right, just look at signs, you know, okay, I need to go here. Here's that next village. I know that if in that next village I can link onto this road and do this. So I had this map route all planned in my head. But meanwhile, goggles are fucking steaming up. Anyway, so I go down this country road, riding along, wiping the goggles each time. You know, all that time, wipe. And I get halfway down this road and I pull over and I'm like, oh, I can't keep doing this, I can't see. Like, the goggles are so steamed up I can't see. So I took the goggles off in this pissing rain and started going forward. My eyes were so sore. It was like needles going into my eyes, all these little raindrops. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I can't see. Like, it's probably dangerous, you know, but I wanted to get home. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures, as they say. So I'm riding on, I'm like, fucking hell, you know, can't see. Anyway, I'm going along this road, it's nice and straight, and fucking hell, this road surface has changed. Like, it's almost like a mud path now. Anyway, I'd actually gone off the road because I didn't see that the road bent round at such a way because the rain was so heavy, it was pitch black. And I'm like, riding, like, squinting my eyes, looking like a little bit like Clint Eastwood. I'm squinting my eyes, like, fucking hey. And look down and there's dirt track underneath me. What the fuck? It turns out that I'd gone completely over because I didn't see that the road bent round to the left. Went over just seeing this track and went up this track and it actually led to someone's house. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I fucking, where the fuck? Like, at that point, it was at that point I realised that I'm really going to have to take things very, very, very slow because I can't do, like, I couldn't even do like 30 miles an hour. I mean, we're talking 20 miles an hour to just give me a fighting chance to see where the road was, you know. And I was like, okay, so anyway, got back and, you know, I was freezing. I started shivering. I was like, what, 10 miles away from home, I was shivering. Like, it used to take me about an hour to get to work. And I think that night it took me double the time to get back home, 20 miles an hour, do you know what I mean? What are you going to do? So I'm sat, you know, going along. I get inside when I was living with my mum. When I was living with my mum, sorry, I get back inside and I'm soaked. The tassel jacket is just dripping. Each tassel was like boop, 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 dripping. Oh man, and my phone, bro. Like my phone. Oh, I ain't got. I'm recording on my phone. I don't know why I looked at my phone, but you know where like the screen is, and then you've just got the screen. Anyway, it's like a fish tank. The whole phone was full of water. And I was like, yeah, that's fucked. That's fucked. Like, it was like a fucking fish tank. I think I did actually manage to dry it out, and it did sort of start working-ish again, but I just had to get another one at that point. I was like, solid, you know, I just need another phone. So that was the thing, like, you know, and that was the time where I realised, like, always carry waterproofs on you. So now I got saddlebags, and I always carry my waterproofs on me. So yeah, always carry your waterproofs. Don't risk it. You'll get soaked. And also check the forecast as well. Check the forecast, because if I'd seen that it was going to be raining that night, I would have at least taken a full face helmet, and then that would have given me a fighting chance to you know, see. But so the second story, we're on to story number 2 now. The second story I've had was, again, I was at work, and I was actually living in the town at this time. You've heard me talk about my previous streams, I'm living in this town and so on and so forth. It was even further for me to get to work, so I had to travel. I believe it actually took me over an hour to get to and fro, to get to work and back from work and stuff like that. So it was a long old journey. Like, we're talking a good, like, 35 miles, you know. I'm on a 125 as well, so it used to take me a good hour, good hour to get to where I needed to be. Anyway, so I've got on my bike, and I've you know, started it all up, done checks, indicators, yeah, sound, everything's good. So anyway, I started going along, and basically from where my work is to where this town is, there's just a long straight road. It's just a long straight road, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. You pass through these like little villages and stuff, but other than that, you're just spending a lot of time in just like, as I call it, no man's land, because it's just desolate, like, you know, just all farmland. Riding along the road, and my headlight goes. It's the best description. My headlight just went, and the lights just went out. I was like, it was nothing to do with my battery. It was the headlight. The headlight at that moment blew. Now, I just want to say, it was dark as well. It was dark. It wasn't raining, thankfully, this time. It was pitch black. So I'm then going 60 miles an hour on this road, because it wasn't raining or anything, so it's safe to do 60 miles an hour. Do 60 miles an hour. You can see where I'm going, and then all of a sudden everything goes out, everything goes dark, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't see. Like, again, I can't see. What is this? What is this blindness that I keep having, you know? So I'm like slowing down, like, oh my god, like using my, because my side light was okay, so I'm like squinting, using my side light to like try and see where I'm going again. Luckily, it was a long straight road, and I'm like, oh god, you know. So I started slowing down to go, right, I need to call someone to come up with a bulb or something. Because at that time, you know, it was in the biker culture. You sort of know a few people that keep these things on them and can come out and give you a spare bulb. I knew how to change it, or kosher. But anyway, so this car comes along, and I'm about to pull over, and he comes on, and he must have known what was going on. Even from the back view, he must have seen that my headlight had blown. So he full beams it right behind me. Yeah, okay, the mirrors were blinding, but I just, okay, put my head up so I'm not getting the direct beam into my eyes again, getting blind, and then I can go along the road. And I managed to make it all the way back to the town with this guy who was sat behind me, and I was turning left at this set of traffic lights when you got into the town. When I got into the town, it's fine because there's street lights everywhere, so you can see. So I got, you know, through all this farm, I couldn't see. I was like, you know, checking, you know, trying to check as well, because I thought, fuck, you know, I could get pulled for this. You can get really in trouble for it, but I didn't have a choice at the time. I just needed to get home. So I got back into the town, and I was hoping that the traffic light was going to be red at the end of the road, so I could turn around and say thank you for just having your full beam on. This guy's wits were about him. He was like, right, that biker's headlights just blown, full beam on. He had the LED headlights, so I could actually see further with his headlights behind me than I could with my own headlights. Try and get your head around that. So yeah, I managed to get back to the town and didn't get a chance to thank him. I really wanted to as well. I was like, you know, this guy, man, he's proper cool. But yeah, I think that was the most like scariest point, because the scariest point of that story is, like I said before, like you go 60 miles an hour, you can see where you're going, everything's in front of you, and then there's just complete darkness. Like, what is it about being blind anyway? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. Maybe it's saying that I'm blind or something. The fate was trying to tell me that I'm blind. One sec, people. I'm just gonna grab myself a glass of water. Doing all this talking seems to make your mouth a bit dry. That's 2 stories there for you. That's better. Okay, hey. Now then, third story now, isn't it? So third story, it was at the start of 2020, and I was heading to work. I was actually living in the home village at that point. I wasn't living in the town at that point, I was living in home village, and I was heading along the road, going down into this little village, and heading to work again. Everything always happens when I'm going to work. Heading into this village to go to work, and this taxi comes to this junction, and I should have known it at the time. I should have known it. Man, my hair is so long, can't keep it under control, people. And this taxi driver's like this, and he's looking that way. So say you're me, he's looking that way, or I should say he was like this actually, looking that way. And I should have known at the time. I was seeing him. I was like, he's not looking at me, and he's like looking, and he goes, "Brrr." Oh man, at that point, man, your fucking anus goes like that. He pulled right out in front of me. I slammed on my front brake and fucking back brake, trying to do an emergency stop like they teach you to do, but it was no good. It was like when he pulled out of the junction, I was already in the junction. Bang! Straight into the side of him. But before that initial clash, I actually managed to skid my bike to the side, so I hit him like that, because I realised that if I hit him on the front end, A, that's going to fuck the bike up completely, which I didn't even have Cherry Pie for that long, Cherry Pie being my motorcycle, to which I still have to this day. But I didn't have Cherry Pie for that long, and I was like, am I going to ruin my bike? So I managed to, with that slide, I was already sliding, I was trying to swing it round and hit him on the side, which actually worked out better because it means the bike wasn't a write-off. I scream out, you fucking dick, because he stopped, I've stopped, and I was like, you fucking cunt, why the fuck did you do that? Anyway, he comes out the car and he's like, oh, you was doing 50 miles an hour down here. Now, just as a little build-up, or just as a little description, I should say, on what this place looked like. You go through this village and, like, at the end of the road literally does that. Like, the bend is so freaking tight. Yeah, it's... You could not go around that at 30. The speed limit's 30, but you there's no way. You can't do it. You know, it's such a blind corner because there's a big house. So you've just got this bend that goes around like that. There's no way you could go 50 miles an hour into that corner. Anyway, this junction was like here on that corner. So it was a bit of a way away. So you're already slowing down initially to go around that corner as it is anyway. Well, the taxi driver was trying to tell me I was doing 50 miles an hour. And I was like, no, I wasn't doing 50. And he's like, yeah, you were. And I said, if I was doing 50 and I slammed into the side of your car like that, you'd be calling an ambulance like right now, because I'd be hurt badly. And he was like, oh, you know, and luckily this witness came over and was like, she went straight up to the taxi driver. She was like, you pulled out in front of him and everything like that. She pointed at the taxi driver and she was like, you were the one in the wrong and the biker's okay. And I'm like, oh, Sam, we got a witness. Anyway, 2 years that took for me to get that. Like, I had loss of earnings, and actually, and this is one lesson that you can learn. So I actually hurt my knee in the process. I can't really lift my knee up. I can't. I busted my knee in the process, but at the time I didn't feel it. Like, I didn't feel any pain, nothing. And when I got the insurance company ringing me up and saying, no, are you hurt, are you injured? I said, no, no, I'm not injured, but I shouldn't have I should have actually gone to a doctor to get that checked, because the next week after I'd said, I'm fine, I've got no injuries, oh, the pain, I probably really damaged my knee, and my knees, because both my knees are no good. I'll tell you a quick little story after this one as well, as to why my knees are knackered. But, you know, I should have declared to the insurance company that I should have got checked and everything like that. I had a day loss of earnings, you know, really busted my knee up as well. But, you know, I just assumed because there was no pain there, I was fine. But next week, lo and behold, the pain. So, yeah, 2 years that came to get, that took to come through. The insurance companies, they take a long time to come through. So just be prepared for that. You know, it's not just a next day thing or a week or a month, you know, it can take a fucking long time. Anyway, the insurance put me on this hire bike, and it was a YS125, so basically like the new and improved YBR, Yamaha YBR, which is like the YBRs, rock and roll all the way home. I love them. Yeah, they put me on this YS, and it was all digital, and the bike was so light, so it kind of gave me a good insight into the YS at least, because I obviously had to send Cherry Pie to get repaired, everything like that, to which I tried to keep it as cheap as possible. And the cheeky taxi driver turned around and said, like, because the bike, all in all, the repairs cost about 900 quid, which is really fucking good, because like I actually missed out on a lot of repairs, because the garage where I went to basically was like, right, if we fix absolutely fucking everything that's wrong with this bike, it's going to have to be declared as a write-off because there's too much wrong with it. So they're like, if you don't want to write off your bike, keep it cheap. So I was like, you know what? A, I don't want to write off the bike, and B, I want to just kind of give everything an easy ride around, which maybe was bad of me. I'm probably going to get people in the comments section turning around saying, oh, you know, you shouldn't have done that, hindsight's a wonderful thing, really. But the repairs all came to about £900, and when this taxi driver got the letter, he declared that it was too much money. 900 quid. He said that bike cost too much money. I was like, do you know about motorcycles? I even boosted it down. Like, it would have been thousands otherwise, but I actually boosted it down that much and paid for the rest of the repairs out of my own pocket. Out of my own pocket, and he still complained. Don't believe it. Some people, eh? Some people, eh? Just do him for everything. Do him for everything. Fuck them. That's what you should do next time. But yeah, just to follow on this story about, you know, why my knees are not so good anymore. I'm 26 years old and I'm saying, I got dodgy knees, man. 26 years old, man. Fuck yeah, now. Fuck. Yeah, no, I got dodgy knees because this is when, again, I was living in the town at this point, not home village. I was riding to my father's place on Christmas Day, and the thing is, the winter time in 2020, for some reason, the roads just were so fucking icy. Like, it was like an ice skating rink. Like, what used to happen, or what happened in that year, is a lot of black ice. It would rain, freeze, and then the next day you've got to be like riding along that. I've got no other choice. I've got to get to work. I've got to get places. So I'm riding along like, oh fuck me, like asshole doing that again, twitching. And I was like, oh shit, you know, this is bad. So I'm on my way to my dad's place, and I thought, okay, it's been salted, it's fine. I'll still take it steady, but it's not as bad as I thought. I should have been so aware of one junction. So as I was going along this main road, I was going through this sort of old mining town. Sounds really crazy. Yeah, it's an old mining town. There's a lot of mining buildings everywhere around. I was like, you know, taking the scenery, loving it. Anyway, went through that town, and I had to fork off onto a junction. So I'm going along the main road, I had to fork off to a junction like there. So you carry on going. And as I hit this junction, there was this one bit of black ice, and once I tried to gain control of the bike, no good. Once you're on black ice, you're going down. So I slid straight off, banged onto this knee, like left. That's why I failed my driving test, left and right. Say my left side knee to you, which is this. Or would that be your right? Oh, God knows. This side. This side knee I went down on, and I hit the deck hard. Like, so hard with that knee. I immediately cried out in pain, because the pain just shot through my entire leg. And I was like, fuck, you know, screaming. I was like, fuck. And I've seen the bike. I actually saw the bike go whoosh across the freaking deck. I wasn't even going that fast, but as soon as you hit that black ice, it's like, whoosh. I can't believe the bike slid like that much. That's how slippy that whole area was. Like, the bike, whoosh. Oh, see you later, cherry pie. It was gone. And I was like I was hobbling up, right? So I was picking myself up off the deck. Leg was on fire. And I was picking myself up off the deck. I was hobbling over. I was like, my bike, my bike. And these two women pull over. And they're like, shit, you need to go to a hospital. I'm like, fuck that, it's full of COVID. 2020. Fuck that, it's full of COVID. Hobbling along the road. Probably should have gone to hospital in the end. Because ever since then, I've had problems with all my, like, pelvis and, like, groin and knee and everything like that. I think that one side got really messed up that day. So I'm hobbling over and, you know, pick up my bike. I take it to the side, and these women are like, you know, are you okay? Are you sure you don't need an ambulance? I'm like, no, because they'll only take me to hospital, and I don't want to go to no hospitals. I said, it's Christmas Day. Fuck that. I'm going for my Christmas dinner, thanks. I said, the pain will go in a minute. So I sat on the side of the road like, oh, fuck, this is so painful, right? And I'm like, it'll go in a minute. And lo and behold, it did get better, yeah? But fuck me, did it hurt. Anyway, this biker comes along. Well, they say he's biker. I didn't know at the time he was a biker, but he's walking along the road. And he's walking his dog. And I'm like, you know, well, I'm sat there and I'm like, fucking, just getting over the initial sort of pain. He comes over to me and he's like, oh shit, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, no, I said, I'm fine, just had a little tumble on the bike. I said, you know, I'm just trying to get it fixed up a little bit. So I've sat there, leg out straight, just trying to sort of rest it. And I was sort of working on my bike from the side. Just like taking panels off, putting shit back together, strapping stuff up so it would work, you know, just so it'd get me back. I was like, no, I'm not about leaving my bike anywhere or whatever. So anyway, he comes over and he's like, oh, okay, let me go back and I'll get some tools and stuff. Anyway, so he takes his dog back up this big hill, because he come down this big hill to get down to me, because I have to go up this hill afterwards. So he goes back up this big hill, and he comes back in his truck with a toolbox, and he starts helping me fix this stuff. Big love to that guy. Like, that's what I mean. He was a biker. Like, he tells me later on, like, oh, I ride a motorcycle as well. I know what it's like. You know, you help someone out when you see them on the side of the road. That is biker code right there. Dude wasn't even on a motorcycle when he came back. He's walking his dog, and he takes his dog back up this hill, comes back and helps me out. That is respect right there. You know what I mean? That is just much love, nothing but love to that guy. Like, you know, and it was Christmas Day as well. Christmas Day, took time out of his Christmas Day to help someone. Didn't even know me. You know, big love to that guy. I didn't catch his name, didn't catch nothing, didn't get his number, nothing. And I feel, I really wish that, you know, I did get his number. But the thing is, sometimes you get these people that just come into your life, don't they? And you never really catch their number. They're just the guy with the dog, really. That's what that guy will be. I may see him again, I may not. I don't even think I'd recognise him, to be honest with you. But, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? 3 years ago. But yeah, that was the other thing. Freaking, that's why my knees are messed up. So this one got wedged between the taxi and the bike. This one hit the deck hard on Christmas Day, and now my whole lower half body is probably crumbling away. I have had problems with this side of my body ever since that. You know, it's just kind of gradually gotten worse and worse and worse. But I probably need to go to physiotherapy or something, which is one thing I am pursuing, you know, after these accidents and stuff. Anyway, what story are we on now? I think this is going to be like 4th, 5th. Oh, God. Next story. I'm not even going to count them. Next story. Next story is the roundabout. That's it. The roundabout. So, I was talking to a girl from our local city. Now, we're talking about city life now. I was talking to a girl from our local city at the time, and was looking, you know, was dating her and everything like that, you know. Ready to get back into saddle after the breakup with my ex. Let's put it that way. So I, you know, what was I coming from work? I think I finished work, went back home, got ready, and then went through, because I had to go through the local town to get to the local city. So I'm talking to this girl, obviously, you know, I was dead keen to get to the local city to go meet her. So I get all my gear on, I'm like, cool, kosher, and I go to head into the local town, coming up to this roundabout, and again, this is 2020, coming up to this roundabout, and there's oil fucking everywhere, like fucking everywhere on this road. Didn't see it until it was too late. So I go along this fucking, this like road, and I put the brakes on, again, no traction, nothing I could do. I slid off, I was sliding on the road on my back, slid onto this roundabout, which for our American subscribers, I think you guys call it a circle, or at least your sat-navs do, but yeah, roundabout. And I slid onto this roundabout on my back. The last thing I remember seeing was this lorry coming round the roundabout at me, heading towards me like that. And the only thing I said was, bye, Josh. At that point, I completely accepted death. Completely accepted my fate. And I was like, cool, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is how I die. I guess it's a bit like Lawrence of Arabia. Well, in a sense. But, okay, this is how I die. And I opened my eyes and I wasn't dead. I made it. So, and I had that view, that typical view where you're looking up and you got all these heads around you like that. I was like looking down at you. Are you alright? What about my fucking bike, I said. Where's my bike? Shit, my bike's fucked. No, I'm not alright, you know. And they're like, well, it's fine, you can get another bike. I'm like, fuck off, you don't get it. Like, but thank you for stopping, but fuck off. Always, whenever I hurt myself on a bike or I come off, I'm always up and I'm looking at my bike like, is my bike okay? Shit. Never about me. Never about me. I'm never like, you know, am I okay? You know, is everything okay with me? You know, I'm straight on the bike. Is the bike okay? But anyway, I took the bike home and the handlebars were like that. Handlebars were like that. Well, no, actually, I got a mate to pick me up from there, and the mate of mine then took me back home, And then I quickly done some fixing up on the bike. And I was riding it to the city. I'm making it for this date. I don't give a fuck. So I'm making it for this date. I'm going to the local city. So I took another way there. Anyway, sat, chilled, had this date. Then come back, right? And my headlight was like that. I didn't even well, it wasn't that drastic, right? But the headlight was like slightly like that. I didn't even realise at the time. I was so desperately trying to get to this date, right? And I put my high beam on, and like the cars on the opposite lane were getting it straight in their eyes, and I was like, "There's nothing I can do, you know. It's night time. I've got to get back home. I'm shit, you know." So I actually managed to change like the headlight fucking bracket. That's it. The headlight bracket. Got that all changed. Yeah. Recently just got the forks changed because I think the forks took that many hits in 2020 because I've been riding like 10 years, and in 2020 I came off I don't know how many times. I just kept coming off in 2020. Like I turned into a garage too quickly, slid straight off, straight down on my side. I'll wait until I say the rest of that story actually, because I don't know how many snitches are on my Facebook. But yeah, let's just say I wasn't entirely sober with that one. But yeah, did I say snitches on my Facebook? Fuck, snitches on my YouTube. Not that anyone. I mean, come on, like, you know, it's a mistake. We all fuck up. It's fine, you know. And yeah, it is what it is. Never done it again. Let's put it like that. Never ever done it again. I you know, thought I could take a chance just to go home, and no. So no, don't even take those risks, people. Fuck that. You know, I got away lucky, but don't, because you know you might not get away lucky, and the consequences of it are much more drastic. So yeah, no, don't do that shit. Fuck that. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, pretty much that's the majority of stories there. I'm sure I can find some others, but as we're on a live stream and things are usually pretty relaxed, I'm gonna take a little break. And I'm gonna just roll myself a quick cigarette, have a quick ciggy. I'll keep talking on the camera and stuff. Well, I'll just check my battery percentage. Might even be able to take the camera. I'm on 75%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Motorcycle stories. Motorcycle stories. I got loads of stories, man, about me and my bikes and stuff like that. I got so many. And we're gonna get into the saucy ones in a minute. Sounds bad, doesn't it? But you know, I just mean it. I'm not gonna hide like what I got up to and what I've been up to on my bike and stuff. You know. Anyway, let's now I've had my story. We've had the crashes, right? We've had the crashes. We've had crashes. You know, that's cool. You know, they'll all start sounding the same. So you know, let's move on to some different stories, shall we? Well, actually, say crashes. You have bad weather and stuff, haven't we? I know all of them off by heart as well. It's just something you don't forget. As all those ones in particular. So that's why I was like knew it from bit by bit by bit. You know. Anyway, it's not that oversimplified, isn't it? That's where I get that from. It's the World War II story. Go and subscribe and go and check out Oversimplified's World War II history story. Anyway, you want to know exactly where I'm getting it from. Anyway, we'll get into some funny stories now, shall we? So after riding around for quite some time, I was starting to get, let's say, well known. I think well known. So people knew who I was, and they knew that I was like a guy that just rode around and had some fun and chilled out and all the rest of it. I'm sure my fiance won't mind me talking about my past. That's a big mouth. So, went to a party, a biker party. We had our own little like group of bikers. It wasn't like a club or anything. We just had a friendship group. I got one now. It's called the Bistards. Anyway, that's just a we're just a mad friendship group. And anyway, we had a friendship group called the Misfits back in the day. And people started to know our little group. It sort of became more of a crew. It's kind of what the Bistards is more of a crew. They're just a group of friends, you know. We're more than a group of friends. We're kind of like a little family, you know. I was at this party and started drinking away. Anyway, me and the bro, we were trying to find a place to sleep. There was a double bed. And I was like, okay, cool. Top and tail. Fuck it, you know. We're bros at the end of the day. We ain't about that shit. I know you're not swinging that way and I don't swing that way, so we're all sound. Anyway, my phone goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And it's this girl. She was messaging me throughout the night, and I just thought, yeah, nah, it's, you know, weren't really too keen, if that makes sense. Because, you know, I was at this party and had a couple of beers and stuff like that. Anyway, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to my phone. Ding, 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 ding. This girl messaging me, you know, hey, Tassels, you know, do you want to come by my place? I was with bro, man, you know. I was like, I don't really want to abandon this bro, you know. I was like, you got any mates there? She said, yeah, I'm here with my mate. I said, oh, that's cool, because I've got a bro. I said, we'll come down. Anyway, we're riding along. We're going through this town at like 3 o'clock in the morning. There is no one in this town. Like, I've walked through that town several times before when it's been at that time. And driving through it, you just kind of feel bait because you're the only ones in that town on motorcycles. And we got loud exhausts as well, so we're like, wasn't over the limit. We had a couple of shandies, it was fine, you know. That was hours ago. At that point where I was, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, it was hours before that I'd had these shandies, so, you know, I was completely fine, completely sober. Anyway, tried to find this house. And we found this house. It was a big flat. Yeah, these two girls leaning down the back. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. We make our way upstairs. And, yeah. We just made our way upstairs. That's just the only way. I didn't really want to say much more. We got to keep it sort of a little bit clean on the channel, haven't we? But yeah, that's just what happened. You know, 3 o'clock in the morning. The first time in my life I'd ever got called up for, would you call it a booty call? Is it a booty call? Is that what they call it? Yeah, one of them. Just got called up for that. Kind of makes you feel kind of good about yourself. 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, man. I was born at 3 o'clock in the morning. Room 3, I was the third baby there, and the first time I ever got a booty call was at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? I won't go into too much, but yeah. That's just another story that will stick with me. Now, for this next story, missing person. Missing person, sorry. So we're in this crew, Misfits, again, at a party. Every weekend we was at a party. And we were sat there partying up. Anyway, sort of started tucking into bed, all the rest of it. Gets a call up. My phone. Fucking hell. Yeah, what's up? One of the bros has gone missing. What do you mean one of the bros has gone missing? Yeah, what, like, you know, his name was, I won't say his name, actually, for privacy purposes, you know what I mean? But he went missing, and I was like, oh, fuck, you know, shit, he's gone missing. So, anyway, we're fucking, like, racing around, I was, like, we didn't want to ride the bikes, because we were kind of a bit over the limit at that point, and I was like, do you know what, I'm not going to take a risk. Again, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. No, it wasn't, it was 11 at night. And I was like, no, I've had a few, I'm walking. So I'm walking this whole town, like, by myself. No, I wasn't. I walked through this town with one of the sisters at the time, my mate's old lady, and we're walking through, we're shining torches around every alleyway. I seen places in that town that I didn't even know existed. There are alleyways everywhere. And I'm like, you know, where the fuck? We're shouting this guy's name. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? No response, no response. And we were like, fuck, you know, because the last time we'd seen him, he'd stopped with one of his old buddies to have a beer. And this guy was like, in his 50s, I think. You know, he's in his 50s. And he had some health conditions as well, a lot of mental health stuff as well. So we thought, what if he's fallen over, he's had a drink, what if he's got a bit suicidal? So at this point, panic started to set in. And I'm like, fuck, where the fuck is this guy? So we're searching round high and low and fucking everywhere. And we knocked on this matey boy's house where he'd stopped before. And he opened the door, you know, oh, you know, where is Kev? Well, I should have said his name. Kev, fuck it, Kev. Where is Kev? No, I don't know where he is. I was like, oh fuck, you know, shit. So we're searching around everywhere. Anyway, we had searched all the fields around the outskirts of the town as well. I covered miles on that night. And this whole town, again, when it gets to like really early in the morning, it's desolate. There is no one around. Like, it's like you expect like a zombie to come out at any second and just be like, ugh. And yeah, no, I was, yeah, like I said, seen places in that town that I didn't even know existed. Anyway, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and just about giving up. I was like, well, he's just disappeared into thin air. Like, no one knows where he is. We've tried calling him and everything. Phone goes, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, in my pocket. Fucking, yeah, what's up? It was the old lady who I was with, sister. It was one of the bros calling in saying he's just walked in through the fucking door. Because he like, Kev used to live with one of the bros. He's just walked in through the fucking door. Where the fuck is that? They went up there. He sat there like, I mean, I thought this guy had taken mushrooms or something. I'm like, you alright, mate? Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, what happened? And he goes, oh, I just fainted. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean you fainted? That's really bad. Like, and apparently he fainted and then rolled down into this ditch and just completely passed out from drinking. He was drunk. He wasn't, I think he got drunk and then it affected one of his health conditions and stuff. So he fainted, fell into this ditch, into this complete brush of bushes. And me and the sister had walked up and down this road where he had fainted, and we'd passed right over him. He must have fallen well deep into those bushes, because we were searching everywhere. We didn't see him. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, but yeah, at least he was safe and he was sound, but that was the missing person. And lastly, but not leastly, we have the story of the naughty party. Now, it was when we were in COVID and we were kind of fed up. Now, it was these points and all these other parties and stuff like that we were going to. We were always in like a low tier, which means we could still go out, still socialise, still stay over people's houses and whatnot, right? But when we got into a higher tier where I am at one point, I was like, fuck, you know. So we complete lockdown again. Anyway, after like 2 weeks, fuck that, couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, fuck the phone. Yeah, should we have a party? You know, we all we don't really socialise it outside of our bubble anyway. So technically speaking, we're all in the fucking social bubble as it is anyway. So we're fine. We're not risking any lives and shit like that. Let's have a party. So we had this party. Everyone came round, and we were sort of, what, like 11 o'clock at night? Knock at the door. Look out the window. It's the old Bill, isn't it? It's the police. Fuck. Like, you know. So they open the door. Oh, we've heard there's a lot of noise coming from this house. You know, you might be breaching COVID rules. We was like, no, we're on a social bubble. It's fine. Well, I didn't say that. Because this place where we were at had lots of rooms. And there was enough people there to say that we could have lived there, you know. We could have lived there, and we could have. But the girl who was sort of sat there and organised said party was like, they're all in a social bubble. I was like, why the fuck did you say that for? We could have all just said we lived here. And lo and behold, we didn't get arrested. We didn't get any fines issued to us. But they were like, you know, just make sure everyone's out of this house in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, they said. Okay, cool. Not to worry. 10 minutes. Everyone will be out. No worries. So he ushered everyone out the door. I think they saw as well, because they were in the car park opposite. They seen everyone leaving. just going off in their separate directions into the night. And then they left, and we left it about 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And they'll blow her to everyone. They're gone, come back, come back. Everyone come back, and I was like, right, what's that film? Oh, Silent or Be Quiet or Quiet or something. It's like that film where there's all those like aliens around, and you've got to be like super quiet because if they hear you, they'll come and get you and like eat you and stuff. What was that called? Anyway, it's like that film. Be Quiet or whatever. What was that film? Silence. We just call it Silence. I think that's what the name of the film was. Anyway, it's like silence. Like, we're gonna party like it's silence. Like it's a silent disco. So we're all sat there like, yeah, it's all fine, it's all fine, drinking away, and then fucking went to sleep at night. Woke up in the morning trying to like sneak everyone out like one at a time, because where we were, it was like on a main high street. And if everyone just seen like all these people clambering out of a building, it looks just bait as fuck. So we're like one person at a time. Yeah, there you go. See you later, mate. See you later, mate. Like, there were the times. There were the times. Didn't give a fuck. Anyways, that's the end of this live stream. Hope you enjoyed that. A few little motorcycle stories. It is involving motorcycles and parties and crews and all the rest of it. And it was funny, you know, it was funny times. 2020 was a very weird time. I did a lot of stuff that I never thought I'd actually do. So, interesting, hey. Anyway, so we're going to end that live stream here. Hope you had a giggle. Hope you had a good time. And I shall see you guys later. Again, if you've watched all the way up until this point, don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell for more notifications on this channel. And also, subscribe over to Chain Productions. That is the main creation or creativity YouTube, where all the creative stuff goes. Music, movies, everything. Go and subscribe to that channel and get latest updates on that. In the meantime, I shall see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out. And I shall see you on the chain side.